Hello and welcome to Bits and Pieces, the friendliest cricket podcast. We are recording on 22nd October 2023, the day after the momentous Bits and Pieces school picnic showed up at Wankhede and ensured everyone except England won. No one has described this podcast group as thought leaders, but after yesterday, nine of us can stake a claim to the title of throat leaders, actively ensuring that the stadium, much like England, were in full cry. This is episode 94. 94, of course, is 49 in reverse. 49, that high watermark of centuries held by the god of cricket in ODIs, being chased by some infantile cricketer who is more interested in milestones and winning matches than the all important net run rate. Hope they gave him some Cerelac instead of protein bars as he walked back today. 94, of course, is also one less than 95, the number of runs scored by this embarrassment of a player, and one less than the number of shots he should have played today. Joining me today to discuss the dire situation India finds itself in with such selfish players at the top of the run getters list and India at the top of the points table. First up, let's go to London, where we will find the most broad-minded of our friends. Bisi, let us steward with you. Say hi and tell us,
Hello.
how is England celebrating the moral victory of not letting South Africa score 400 at the Wankhede?
I don't think cricket's ever going to be popular in this country, not with the kind of drubbing that they came up with. There's no competition. Everyone is going to switch between football and rugby at this stage.
Spiritual
Amazing.
leader was also there yesterday.
They have two spiritual leaders. What are you saying? Jofra Archer was flown in and then promptly declared by the coach that he will not be replacing anybody who gets injured also. So you
not perform what has happened.
You go figure what this team wants to do. They are not here to defend. They're not here to chase. They can't choose what they want to do after the winner toss. Anyways, yeah, we'll get to it in greater detail, but yeah, loving
Amazing.
Best team ever.
Lovely to have you, Bisi. Up next, the most gentle, genial, generous gent from Chennai who insists on giving more genuine encouragement to those around him than the compliments he receives for his spectacular writing. He's so much about give and take that one wonders why he doesn't play as a keeper. The number one Jadeja fan and Jadeja critic, the wonderful Prashant DP. Prashant, as the fog lifts from Dharamshala, how did it feel to watch Jadeja doing it with the bat for the first time this World Cup?
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing to watch. And he's actually having a great tournament. Even though he wasn't in great form going into the World Cup, I think he's had a great tournament. He's bowled really well. And I think this was the first time he had a serious role to play with the bat. And I thought he batted quite admirably.
1 second. Wait. Where he said he had a good game? He dropped a catch. All this and all.
Most important medal not happening.
Medal ceremony and all, he's out of the running. What? He had a good match. No.
And the bowling was also quite
by dropping. Who did he drop? Mitchell, Ravindra, one of them.
Ravindra.
Yeah. And rounding up the top four for the pod this week, when he's not jet setting across Sri Lanka, Nepal, Dubai, or Indonesia, this relaxed hedonist takes cricket head on and launches guerrilla attacks on the popular understanding of cricket with zingers and thought-provoking POVs alike. Finally chopping them like only he can. Please welcome Abhishek Chopra. Chops, say hi and tell us your thoughts on the meteoric rise of Netherlands this week.
Yeah, I mean, it was very, very good to watch them. I think it's one of those teams that those associate teams that have their game plan down to a pat. And it was just unfortunate that with Sri Lanka they couldn't land one more blow, which would have really opened the floodgates and probably led them to a win. But yeah, I mean, so good to watch, especially how they seem to punch above their weight all the time with their bowling and their fielding. Sad to see the loss against Sri Lanka, but I think they're going to upset one more team, hopefully.
Yeah.
They do not have their plans down to only a pat. They have it down on pen and paper and with them on the field. They are as studious as it gets. Yeah, proper cheat code.
Yeah, but let's get into the episode. We'll start from flying Dutchmen. I think we should go to non-flying Kiwis first of all. And let us talk about the curse of Dharamshala and the bogey team that is New Zealand that has been lifted for India. India ticking so many boxes that it has like taken the box seat for itself in this World Cup. Immediate reactions on that win, guys. Finally, after 20 years, India beating New Zealand in a World Cup. Mocha, etc.
Also, I mean, I think this is all building up to a spectacular article when India crashes out in the semi-final because they have looked absolutely unbeatable, man. I mean, they've been
This has literally never happened before.
So I mean, it's all working up there. I can't wait to watch the wheels fall off and watch everyone go into like a meltdown when that happens. But I mean, all jokes apart, they've looked spectacular, no? I mean, in 2019, at least there was this whole, the number 4 is untested, number 5 is untested. I mean, you can't even say that this year. I mean, the bowling has been spectacular, and the batting also looks to be fairly in good shape. And today, I think they played with 2 number 10s and 2 number 11s, and they still managed to pull off that chase. So, I mean, they look in really good shape.
Yeah, as expected, Prashant catching the wrong aspect of the game. Bisi, tell us about the most critical part of the game. How did you enjoy that light show during the drinks break? Come on, Ramama. What is this? They performed. What has happened?
Which stadium started this? I think I saw it first at Delhi. I have no idea because obviously I haven't seen anything during the
No, so I have a theory that this started off as a voltage fluctuation. Okay. And they said, let's make it a thing,
Is this a metaphor for the fact that Hardik Pandya is what stabilizes the Indian team, and when he is not there, fluctuations can happen, and like light and sound show shall result.
I think it started in Delhi, right? I think, like Prashant said, there must have been some voltage fluctuation. Floodlight went off. But DJ is like, nahin, main to party karega, main Delhi ka launda hu. So I'll continue playing. So everyone's like, yeah, this is cool. Let's do this. And then along with free drinking water, we rolled out this great charade of doing rubbish during the break.
Dude, it was so mind-blowing that it discombobulated a very, very calm and collected KL Rahul, who's been great so far this tournament, and immediately next ball he got out. Chops can't wait to get into it. Yes, Chops, you had some thoughts. Tell us.
Yeah, no, I when that light and sound show was happening during the drinks break, I remember thinking exactly this, that it can't be good for the concentration or the set eye of the batter, because of the fact that you are thinking of seeing the ball in full floodlight, and then suddenly there's darkness and you're drinking water, and suddenly you're supposed to go out again and adjust to the full light. So it seems like a bad idea for the players. I don't know how much it adds to the viewing experience in the stadium. I mean, for the TV viewer, perhaps it doesn't do much for sure. But I think the most important outcome of today's match for India is that we escaped the demonic Dharamshala outfield without any injuries. I think that's the biggest one. And you saw multiple times how Bumrah was not even attempting to dive. So much so that
awesome. Like that awareness, that guy's game awareness is next level. Like forget.
I don't know, Bisi. I don't know whether it was just him thinking about it on the go, or it was a clear set of instructions given to the Pacers. But I think it was a very, very wise move, something that people will not appreciate. They'll say, "Arey, put your body on the line," and this and that bullshit.
Infantile.
I mean, so much so that he decided to also drop a catch when he was like standing. But as long as there are no injuries due to that stupid outfield, and I mean even the Wankhede outfield for that matter was absolutely shit, man. Like,
I don't know. You were there at the stadium, Tony. How was it?
Felt very, very sandy only. I mean, it was like Harry Brook at least twice in front of us attempted dives and came off nonplussed. But I mean
the only thing that could have saved Wankhede or even Dharamshala if Sandy G predicted a sandy outfield. Otherwise, it was just too
But
bad.
forget the outfield. What is happening to the catching? It has been quite atrocious this World Cup. They were, I think, like both sides dropped some 3-4 catches today. Yesterday also catches were dropped. Australia have been dropping catches for fun. What is happening?
I think
What is
India's catching has been quite amazing this World
Yeah.
Cup. At
Yep.
least this match was perhaps an aberration in that sense, but otherwise I think it's been quite good. And
Yep.
even this match, I think in the latter half of the match, when we latter half of the New Zealand innings, when we were able to pull back the run rate quite admirably, the ground fielding also I think was quite
Picked
good.
up. Yeah.
And I think the Kohli catch, the first one that he took, was also quite nice. So I guess it's fine. Not too much of a worry as long as we've got the points in the bank.
Okay. Prashant, what were your like?
So
takeaways
no.
from the-
So no, Tony, I wanted to ask you. You were at the game at Wankhede. Somewhere around the 30th over of South Africa's innings.
Now I have to do quiz also. I have to attend
No.
match also, answer questions
no,
also. Machine
yeah,
drawing Viva Vose is happening live, Dutch.
No. So I'm curious.
Yes, sir.
So
How many
what-
mark question you tell?
Huh? 2-mark question. Okay.
2 mark question.
Oh,
What was
That
what?
and all, Tony will leave outside off stump, right?
Playing for net run rate only. You tell.
No. So no. So the question was that what did you read as a par score on that surface?
Oh, so I think it was
Wankhede.
Yeah, Wankhede.
it was shifting by the minute, right? Like I think the first ball went for a boundary of Queenie, and then like he nicked one, right? The very next ball. And basically South Africa took a little while to build up. And again, they lost a bunch of wickets. And then again, they took some time to build up, right? And literally they were on their pretty much last pair, right? With Jansen and Klaasen. And with Klaasen cramping up. Yesterday, what you wouldn't have seen on the TV, which was like insane, was basically the number of times towels were run out onto the field. Practically almost every ball, someone was running a drink or a towel onto the field. Moeen Ali was hugging someone for comfort. So some of these things were happening, like proper butler service for butler was happening. But I mean, I don't know if it is a question of what the par score is or how teams have generally been pacing about in ODIs, right? Like you can't have the crash bang approach of T20s, which England have suddenly adopted as a template, at least in India, right? Like the teams that have done well are the teams that have sort of paced it out and lasted the 50 overs. I think even against Afghanistan, New Zealand found themselves in a very tricky spot and then like got out of jail in the last few overs, right? So initially we were thinking around 330 they'll end up at, then we were like, okay, 350 is possible. Now where is it going? And they got to 399, but like it was some insane hitting. Small ground, yes. Flat pitch also, but
and heat. I think they were
It was-
crying about the heat.
it was insane. It was
Yeah.
next level. I don't know how for sure we can say for a fact that Klaasen's cramp was all cramp and no acting.
No acting.
No cramp work modeling and all happening. But yeah,
No, but
par score is
think-
whatever you want it to be. I don't think there is an answer.
now you tell whether Viva is clear or not.
Yeah, Ray, first class student is.
Hey, no distinction. Huh? Only first class. Just pass. Yes.
See, this is your behavior like they do during that medal ceremony. Everybody is like, medal.
No, I think with the Wankhede match, what ended up happening was when Markram and that other fellow, what was his name, Hendricks, they were having a partnership. I thought South Africa was going perhaps lower than expected, and I think a lot of the onslaught at the end was just down to the fact that Klaasen and to a lesser extent Jansen just could not run. I mean, so they were just going for the shots because they couldn't run, and that led them to 400. I'm
No,
not sure if South Africa.
I know you're watching Netherlands with Sri Lanka, but Hendricks basically was 0 of 13. He got off the mark on the 14th ball. After that, he was pretty much like going at a good pace, right? So I think it was a case of you needed to get in before you started playing your shots. Even with Klaasen and Jansen, they were like
No,
gave
I'm
some
just saying.
respect, and then
I'm just saying that even by the end, they were not. I mean, it's no team goes out on the pitch thinking that aaj 400 marna. It's perhaps something that was more 325-ish range. But then, I mean, Klaasen just went nuts and Jansen also went nuts. And the heat ensured that they weren't even looking for ones or twos. And they just managed to reach 399.
And I think the bowling had completely flattened by then. They were out. Like you could see. Adil Rashid was huffing and puffing in his second or third over.
Adil was already unwell. No, he was
I think he was
like
unwell or something. Okay.
Not a certainty for the
Game.
match itself.
Smart.
But then, I mean, he was the one who ended up bowling the best. But otherwise, I mean, even the run that Butler had to do from like the keeping position to the bowler to like say a few words of wisdom, which were obviously useless because the next ball was again going for 6. That was also adding to the trouble.
Hey, why are we doing so much nuance when we can say England?
I mean, that decision to bowl
best
first,
team, man. Best team.
amazing.
They are amazing.
So now,
like I don't want all round.
There was a tweet from someone, I forget who it was, who said apparently Butler has asked all his teammates to just go out and do what they're best at, and promptly Topley has gone out there and gotten himself injured.
And
he's out of the squad now. Out of the squad.
Out of the World Cup.
Out of the World Cup. No, Jofra Archer not coming.
No, Jofra is not coming.
Coach has said, I don't know why he's here. He's Summa landed up over here. Even if Topley is injured and he can't play a further part, Jofra Archer is not his replacement.
Oh, okay.
Sorted.
Did he also explain why Sanju Samson is at Brabant? I thought he was there.
Sanju said Brabant?
Sanju said Brabant. He's been like putting Insta stories for the last couple of days. I thought like he may have wanted to meet me or something, but
I think he wants to be
a bit forthcoming.
he wants to be concussion sub like Ash and that. Like if somebody will get injured, I'll be Brabant, Wankade very close.
I mean, entirely possible given how people are getting stung by bees and all of this. With Sunil Gavaskar saying it is India, expect the unexpected.
Speaking of commentators, dude, just before the game, I think Nasser Hussain was asked what will be England's response because they had lost to Afghanistan before playing South Africa. Nasser Hussain is like, in the age of baseball, they'll go harder. That great prediction. No pulling back.
They did go harder with the ball though. No, I think the worst...
it was like, so what I said, right, is also like, if you saw England bat, it was just nuts. Like they wanted to hit every ball for a 6. Like Bairstow, I think he middled 3 balls, or he got bat on ball for 3 balls and missed everything else. 2 of them went to a boundary, the other was caught at the boundary. But like, it was like headless chicken batting, dude. Like, please, what is this? It was like Javagal Srinath with a heavier bat, basically.
And as a callback to our previous episode, I think Reverend General Iman Pandey had put up a very nice analysis of Robro doing Bharatnatyam middle of the pitch. This Bairstow did at the boundary. Where he took a catch. He was shit afraid of where the boundary is, so he just went sideways. And he just fell and he's like, oh, catch. Great. If you haven't seen that replay, you must see it. Yeah, that is English cricket in a nutshell. It's like they have no clue what is happening. Something just lands in their hand and they're like, yes, that is, we planned for it. And obviously things fall sideways after.
I think the worst part about Reece Topley getting hit was his father was in the audience. Don Topley was in the audience. And every time, like in India, what happens is every time Virat would hit a 4 or Rohit would hit a 6, they would pan to the wives.
They would show Kumble's grandmother.
In the Titan Cup, they would show Kumble's grandmother and whatever. This time, they were just panning to his father and he had his head down, buried with disappointment. So, yeah, I mean, cruel.
Was it disappointment or just Mumbai heat? Because like it can be.
Probably.
Yeah.
Do you-
So
No, so do you guys get a sense that maybe a lot of players are out of touch with the format itself? And that, what Chops was describing as, they went too hard. I mean, that's typically, it used to be a format before that was played much more often. But I think that, T20 cricket's just kind of gotten into everyone's head, maybe.
Except
just-
India.
Except India, because we can't play T20.
It's like, यही चाहिए हमको,
it
यही
is not
चाहिए.
a bug, it is a feature.
It is a
It's a
feature.
feature.
No, which is why I don't think ODI will ever die, man. Because
Yeah, if India end up winning this World Cup, एक बार तो और होगा ही सही.
exactly.
No,
Your
but
top.
England's case is a little weird, right? Because they've basically like ship of Theseus the whole team. Yesterday it was like some random new team that showed up.
After
Right? Like,
no. After saying they will not make wholesale changes, they then proceed to change a third of the team.
yeah.
A
And
third
they
of the
went
team.
with,
Wait, how many changes did they make?
They
Three,
made
three.
Three
Three changes.
Karan went
Livingston-
out, Livingston went out, and
Yeah.
Okay.
some other fellow went out. Yeah, anyway. Yeah. But
What a team.
to put things in perspective and bring us back to Dharamshala, there was a fog intervention when clouds came onto the field.
No,
Have
no,
you
it was
ever
it
seen
was
anything
the
like this?
it was the ad infringing on the actual play. Like the ad is all
Yeah,
fog chal raha hai,
fog
fog
chal
chal
raha
raha hai. And the match ended up, having some of it. But yeah, I mean, just bizarre to go off. And then,
Yeah, I thought like some gorilla had come onto the field in between all the mist. But
Oh, nice. Savas.
What was it? Episode 37, right? 30,
no,
37 or something.
29. Umpire strikes back. 29, 28, one of those.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't listened to that episode,
Dude, I'm
You're
telling
missing
you, this World Cup is amazing because and this ground specifically is amazing because you start off assuming that you can criticize that stupid outfield, and suddenly it's not a bug, it's a feature type thing happens, and everybody's like, you should be careful on this outfield, you should not do any diving. Nobody will criticize, but on air, they're like, people are being very careful about it. But look at the New Zealanders. Look at this fellow. What's his name? Glenn Phillips dive around. Not the right thing to do on such an outfield. Like, what is going on here? Criticize the right thing. How have you shifted the narrative like this? And then the
No,
fog
but
comes.
see, Bisi, this is the problem. Like you've only been exposed to the Sena media's take on cricket. They think the only appropriate pitches are pitches where fast bowlers come into being. Spinners are not allowed to bowl. Similarly, for outfields, yeah, you should grow up playing on all outfields. What is the nonsense? Like only lush green outfields you'll play on. Hey, please come on. New age, India is in the ascendancy. We will put
Cricket-
random outfields.
cricket
You
was
have to deal
played,
with it,
when-
Dan.
Yeah. Cricket was played when people were not diving also, no? So yeah, saves laundry bills also. It's all good.
Let's go back to the Stone Age with it. Play that French cricket over there. We'll go round and round.
So gentleman's game, what kind of gentleman dives around in the dirt? Please. We're going back to the good old days.
Anyway, it's Dharamshala, so it makes sense to go there for the good old days.
Okay, so looking at the table, interestingly, it would appear prima facie that the only two teams that know how to play ODI cricket still, India and New Zealand, are at the top of the table. But a much more nuanced look at the table reveals something more significant. India have beaten 3 out
Tony,
of the top.
sorry, Tony.
Yeah,
I
go
will
for
just change the position of that only. India only knows how to play ODI cricket.
Come on, Ra.
It is not that only India
Take
knows how
that.
to play.
Take that for an intro.
This is like Shreyas Iyer hooking 1 for 6. Like,
And then
fully
getting out to a
unexpected.
beast
Very
thing.
welcome. but let me say, a closer look at the table will reveal the fact that India has actually beaten 3 out of the top 5, and New Zealand have beaten 3 out of the bottom 5. So, I mean, New
So
Zealand
good,
has yet
good
to
for
play.
us in the Super 6 stage, I guess.
Yeah, but let's not lose sight of the fact that New Zealand still have to play Australia, South Africa,
Macha,
Pakistan, and Sri
you
Lanka.
want New Zealand to lose all three and go out of
All
the
four.
reckoning for semi-final. All four, yeah. I mean, we
Yeah.
get that. We get that. You want to make the point that all four matches remaining for them are tough ones, and I mean they could make.
Yeah, they have to play
this
one
could be
more
the
on
start.
Dharamsala. They already have only 12 players. If two more get injured, then Simon Dole will have to come out. Or Ian Smith.
No, Ian Smith.
Ross Taylor. Ross
Ross
Taylor is
Taylor.
also
Ross
there.
Taylor.
Ross
Hey, but
Taylor.
Ross Taylor's commentary stint was so different from Sachin Tendulkar's. Nothing we found out about his charity, wife, what he does in his free time.
Favorite
Because he
fruit
doesn't
isn't
know.
mango.
It was so disappointing when they actually called the action during the game and all that. Like, wasted opportunity. What is this?
Yeah, but I still think that New Zealand, of course, have a good chance to make the top four. India are almost there. I would guess. The other two is going to be super interesting. My money is still on South Africa and Australia. Somehow Australia is going to pick up their game. I know they look listless right now, but I mean the Pakistan. Was it the Pakistan win?
Pakistan game. Yeah,
win
Pakistan.
was very nice. I
Hey,
mean, it was
what are you
good to.
saying? Australia doesn't look listless, duh? Didn't they win the last two matches?
They won.
Back to
No,
back.
I mean, but a lot of criticism has been happening for the team because I mean they look tired and they're not. The cricket isn't
not scoring
inspiring much
moral
confidence.
victory points, like
Ah.
England.
So I think Australia are going to be able to pick up their game.
No, but Head has
make-
also come in.
Yeah,
Bharat Sundaresan
Head's also
has
coming.
seen them in the nets. Seen them in the nets or something like that. But Head is coming, da. Labu's out. What are you saying?
Yeah.
Australia is
No, that's what I'm
peaking
saying.
at the right time.
I think, yeah, peaking at the right time. Exactly. So my money is on South Africa and Australia to make the other two teams.
Yeah, so South Africa's case is interesting, right? Because they have to play India and New Zealand and also Pakistan, right? So they also have tough run-ins.
South Africa play Pakistan also.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. They
mean,
do. They haven't yet played.
They haven't played. Sorry, they'll play
They
at
haven't
Chennai.
played.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So basically, as of now,
I mean,
we
I have
don't know
tickets to that game, so.
Sorry. My
No,
bad. Sorry.
as of now, we would like to reassure the bits and pieces listeners that we don't have a clue as to who the top four will be, and this is a feature, not a bug, because the tournament is still wide open as it stands, except for India, who's running away with it at this moment in time. But
I have one point about today's game. I don't know if India is sorted when Hardik Pandya is not playing. It did not seem like a straightforward choice, and you found that you would be very nervous if that one additional wicket had gone off.
Oh,
And,
exactly.
and you had 5 bowlers, out of which 4 are tailenders, proper tailenders.
Yeah.
They cannot put bat to ball.
No, I mean not so much the batting scene. Honestly, I mean if your top guys till Jadeja can't win you the match, then the other 4 should not be expected to do that. But to me, the problem was just this sheer helplessness that you saw with Rohit, where Kuldeep in the first part of his 10 was getting absolutely hammered. And Kuldeep just kept coming back. And I mean, credit to him, he pulled it back quite nicely by the end of the match. But he had nowhere to go to. I mean, the only other player that you could think of was probably Sky if he bowled something, or go back to Kohli, yeah, for picking up a wicket without bowling a ball. So yeah, those two were the only options, I guess.
Tell me something. Didn't Rohit used to bowl off spinners?
He used to bowl off spinners. Yeah.
Correct.
There's that amazing video on YouTube. I think it's from the 2014 series or something, where he appeals for an LBW very similar to the one that KL got today. The Australian batter coming down the track and trying to pad it away, and then there is some argument that happens. And I mean, I remember that spell he was bowling quite well, but just, I mean, I don't know if these guys even practice bowling in the nets these days.
Very unlikely. Very unlikely.
Oh
It's
no,
just-
but I think this is something that Kaus had mentioned, right? Do you know what happened on Kohli's 0th ball in, I think, international T20 cricket?
yeah, that's what I mentioned. No, he got a wicket
Of a ball.
of a,
Of
I
a
think it
wide,
was a stump.
stumped by
Oh.
Dhoni.
dismissal.
I think it's Kevin
Yeah.
Peterson, something like that. Yeah.
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 No, but Bisi, the counterfactual is that New Zealand at one point were 205 for 3 in 36 overs, and then they limped to
Died,
273 because of Shami. If instead you had Mr. Shardul Thakur, that's the problem. No, you don't know how much you'll be chasing. Like, how are you countering
Alarm
this?
bells are ringing in Melbourne right now. That is how I am countering this.
This is a classic accounting problem, right? Like, I think it was one of our profs in K who mentioned that that man notices he's drinking beer and then going to bathroom and peeing, and then he notices that he's drinking more beer and he's peeing. He's like, "Arey, let me just make this process easier," and he takes beer and pours it into toilet. That is basically the way in which we are treating like Shardul Thakur as some important player. Right? Like, please, I mean, you can restrict the
Fair. Yeah,
score
fair,
either
fair.
way, no? And
No,
Shami today
no.
was phenomenal in the second spell.
If
Yeah.
if this goes any further, all of you will receive a PDF printed copy of the Karthik Krishnaswamy article. So please be very, very.
Is it morning in Australia already? Has Hank woken up?
No, fair
No,
enough.
but
I don't
this
think
is
it's
the
as
first
clear
time.
cut. I didn't think it
Yeah.
was as clear cut an answer as saying, that if I don't have a bowling all rounder, then what my other options are. We honestly don't have that, and so
No,
that
but
is why.
why are you saying that, Tony? I mean, so wait, Sky replaced
Shardul.
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 Or Shami replaced Shardul and Sky replaced Hardik.
Yeah, so I would say that is the way to go. I mean, if Sky can go out and Hardik can come back in, and Shami can still be, in the
But
So
you
you're
still
leaving
have
out Shardul, no?
no, but you still
Yeah.
have 2 number 10s and 2 number
Correct.
11s.
That's
That is
fine. I don't care about that. I mean, if the guys at the top don't get you the win, then
No. So okay, I mean,
We've moved
my
away
point.
from that logic quite a while ago.
No, my only point is that if you like even today, right? If one more wicket had fallen, if Jadeja had gotten out, God forbid, you would have. How many runs would you have trusted the last 4 batsmen?
to get.
I
Zero.
don't care. That's
Depends
what I'm
on
trying
how
to
much
say.
Kohli needed for 100 versus how many runs he had.
That's the answer. That's the answer. No, I'm just saying that. See, Shami, what did Shami tell us today? That if you're leaving a bowler of his quality out after the
said
white
that,
ball record. Sorry.
Oh, with his actions, which spoke
Yeah, with
louder
his
than
actions.
words
No,
translated.
that
from
is what
Hindi to
Paras
English.
Mamre translated. No, don't worry.
Paras.
Paras Mamre was translating.
Dude, Paras
Yeah, I
Mamre
mean-
is the worst translator in the history of the game. he couldn't even get the question right, dude. Ian Smith was asking him how important was it to take those.
That is
wickets
Ian
at the
Smith's
end.
fault. That is not Paras Mamre's fault. It was Ian Smith going bonkers again.
Yeah, I mean, why would you put Ian Smith out for asking questions to anyone, but especially to Shami? Like, just get DK or Ravi or someone. So, I'm just saying that if you're keeping a guy of Shami's quality out of the team, it better be for like an amazing all-rounder, which Shardul clearly isn't. So,
I know an amazing all-rounder in the squad.
Ashna. No, but
Yeah,
that's
who
the
else?
problem, right? Like, I mean,
I'm okay
like,
with Ashna.
yeah, it's like one of those things that will never get settled, and I think the
Fair,
team
perhaps,
management has pretty
perhaps.
much moved on to resting Shami for some weird reason and sticking with Shardul. So as soon as Hardik Pandya is back, I'm guessing we'll see.
I
Shardul
just-
come back.
I'm very
I just
glad that Shami was up for it. I mean, I think Chops had
Yeah.
pointed out
First
that
ball,
his
first
pace was
ball.
off. No, Chops had pointed out that his pace seemed to be off. He was bowling mid 120s at one point of time. Somewhere, second, third over, I don't remember.
Yeah.
But his second spell, he was back up again, close to 140. So
Yeah, diesel
I
engine takes time to warm up.
I mean, I actually thought that he may have played the Pakistan game, given that it was at Gujarat and
Gujarat, yeah.
yeah.
What's that to do with
Gujarat Giants.
Gujarat
I
Titans.
mean, yeah, he's
Titans,
yeah.
sorry. Giants.
Giants?
There is so Choppy. There is this tournament called IPL
Giants?
that happens
Yeah.
sometime.
There are okay, fine. Gujarat Giants are a bunch of other people, not the cricket.
Oh, Statue of Unity reference.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway,
Gujarat
so
Giants.
I think the only thing that we've learned today is that
We don't
we don't know why Sky is still anybody.
Man, that was a very, very cruel run out. Completely
Yeah.
Kohli's fault, sold him down the river. But we haven't spoken about the all important thing. What did you think about the tactic at the end to not go for the runs normally, but go for the 100? Any thoughts of that happening a second time in two matches?
This is the other kind of cricket
Where is-
podcast where you can only hear crickets there.
I mean, I thought it was if there were any more runs to get, and with that last
No, please. No, Macha.
No
ifs and buts.
counterfactuals.
no
This is
counterfactuals.
it.
Okay.
You answer
Data
for
set
this
is as it
situation.
is.
No, first let's rewind to Bangladesh to establish baseline. Then we'll come here, which also happened this week. PDP,
Oh yeah.
what
Go
did you
for it.
think of Kohli's infantile performance against Bangladesh?
I mean,
Embarrassing.
no man. I mean, this game is
Just,
structured. This game is structured the way it is. You can't sit and say that no, in football this happens and in some other game something else happens. This game is the way it is. This is how these people are wired. There's no getting away from it. So, I mean, I guess you don't have a problem with it. It is what it is.
No,
Okay.
but I think the Bangladesh game was a little bit more straightforward because there were enough runs to get and the match was never in danger, right? It wasn't like
Yeah.
if we lost
Yeah.
one more wicket, it would
Yeah.
happen or whatever.
Yeah.
And he
And
really
I
needed
think-
to, and Kohli really needed to hit a boundary to get a century, as opposed to here where the number of runs needed for the century and the win were pretty much the same, right? So I don't know.
No,
Also-
I think players colluding is one thing. Like KL denying single and all is one. What is Richard Kettleborough on all about? Tell me that.
No, Macha, there's this funda going on where they said some law changes happened and that allows for
Correct.
this
correct.
to
No.
not be a wide, right? No?
Correct.
One
correct.
second.
That, no,
Let's-
the rule has changed on the leg side wide apparently. Yeah.
Yeah, you need
But
to be
let
where
us-
you can't move during the delivery strike.
Yeah,
So wherever
but
you were before the delivery strike began is where I assume that you were when the ball goes past you.
let's get to the
According to
math of it. I think Kohli was on 97 and India needed 2 to win, right? Even if he called it a wide, Kohli needed a boundary anyway. Like it didn't change the equation as far as the 100 was concerned. So, but that was a wide, dude. Come on, I don't know what.
Yeah,
rule
of
changes
course
are
a
we
wide.
doing. Like,
Who said no?
Ashna used same tactic to win T20 match against Pakistan and Australia. Now what are you saying?
He moved his BedX out of the way. He took it from Nungambakam to Malappuram or whatever. And he got it caught a wide. Now people are justifying, oh, Richard Kettleborough, best umpire, knows all the rules in the world. No.
No, I think I'm in Tony's camp myself that the Bangladesh game was, I mean, you do whatever you want to and just like get the win, come back into the dressing room, celebrate, go home, whatever. This one I thought was perhaps a little off the mark completely when it came to the judgment of the two guys out there. I mean, to me, the first memory that came back was Chennai 99 test when I think we needed a very, very small number of runs to win after Sachin got out and we just faltered. And here the quality of batters coming out after Kohli got out was not great at all. So I thought today was, I mean, Kohli should have, even if Jadeja was the one who was saying that, we'll go for your 100, Kohli should have just insisted and said that, boss, nothing doing. I'm going to just get singles and get
Be
the
done
win.
with it.
Yeah, because I mean, with 3 overs, 2 overs to go, you don't take that kind of risk. And the worst thing was that he got out in the end trying to hit a six and it didn't come off, and then Shami had to come out, which was just embarrassing. I mean, I know net run rate is not so much of an issue for India, and a few balls here and there wouldn't have made much of a difference. But I thought today was where it flipped for
Unnecessary.
me.
Yeah, no, but
Unnecessary.
just to put the math in perspective, right? Like the moment Kohli decided to go for it, I don't think anyone thought a century was on today by virtue of like Jadeja coming out and scoring those runs. But basically, I think the point where it was they needed 19 of 24 balls, and Kohli hit a six the first ball of Bolt, and then another four. Right? Suddenly, it became within the realms of possibility that you needed
Kohli would
basically.
get
You needed 7 runs to win and 7 runs for the century. So, I mean, he could still have done it in 2s and 3s or whatever, but he went for a shot. I think it's okay, man. Like,
which is why you missed Hardik Pandya today. If he
no,
was there,
see, my point is as long as you won the game, it doesn't matter, right? Like, if you've gotten 100, it is a good bonus. It is like jumping on top of that flag in Mario's ending this thing, right? Like, making sure you get to the highest point. But it's okay, man. I don't see too much of an issue with it. 5 wins out of 5.
Okay.
peaking too early.
Are we discussing the upsets at least? That
I
happened
mean,
this
please
also
let
happened
us-
this week.
PDP had some thought that he wants to share. Tell them.
No, so I actually think that the associate nations have actually played a lot more serious ODIs, a lot more competitive ODIs going into this World Cup than many of the so-called test nations. So they're actually more in tune with the format. They're more in tune with their plans and their roles within the side, which is why they've actually been like, if you look at the way associates have played in past World Cups, right? They would have, bowled well, fielded well, but they'd have struggled to put runs on the board. But that's not been the
Hey,
case
that is
this
a
time.
scorer's job, da. Why do they have to put?
Devamai. Somebody's mind is still clouded by the
I-
fog of Dharamsala.
No, but I'm saying if you look at the associates this year, they've actually been scoring runs, which is something that associates have typically struggled to do in past World Cups.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, it's food for thought that one of the reasons that was given to everyone that, why have only a 10-nation World Cup is you don't want to, quote unquote, dilute the so-called quality. But you've got the so-called elite gathering of teams, and you've not had a single sort of close last ball finish. And the only real excitement in this tournament has actually been provided by the associate nation.
Yep.
I mean, so it's like a massive slap in the face of the ICC.
BCCI.
Whatever, same. Tomato.
Hey, Pahadi
One
tomato
is-
today I saw.
One is metric system, one is imperial system. Both.
Tomato, tomato.
And Pahadi tomato also. Today, Rajesh Shukla was in the mountains.
No, I don't know if the two issues are completely like correlated in that sense, PDP. I mean, the lack of close finishes and what the associate nations have managed to do. I don't know if they're connected in some way, but
No,
yeah,
I'm not
I
saying,
definitely.
No, I'm not saying that they're connected. What I'm saying is that the logic for restricting the number of teams in the World Cup was that you wanted to be a quote unquote elite competition with more competitive games. That has not borne out in the results so far.
No, okay. No, but I mean, I disagree, right? Because cricket is a game with a unique format where there are few teams as such, right? So if you think of a FIFA World Cup or whatever, literally the 64th ranked team gets 3 matches all told, right? Whereas cricket has done an elaborate selection process for who gets to play the World Cup and ensures whoever makes it gets to play 9 games back to back, right? So if you're an associate nation or whatever, you get the full run playing across 9 games and at least coming off with 2 or 3 good results, right? It's like you're widening the scope at least for that set of teams.
Exactly. So I'm saying
which is
that
good, no?
it is good. I'm just
No,
saying
would
that
you rather have like 14 teams and or 16 teams and split them into groups of 4 such that Netherlands would get only three matches and get knocked out?
I would definitely have wanted at least 2 more associate nations. Given the competitiveness of that tournament in Zimbabwe, I would have wanted at least 2 more. I think it would have added a lot. But then,
I don't know.
you know,
I think this is one of those formats where no one will ever be happy, right? Like you're
that's
giving
true.
them 9 matches instead of 3 or 4, which I think is pretty good. And they've performed well. I think the real disappointment has been someone like a Bangladesh or some of the other teams which
Sri
have
Lanka.
done well in these formats. Yeah.
Sri Lanka came through the qualifiers this time.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, so I think the point that you make about the associate nations playing ODIs and having individual roles and tactics, etc., well figured out, that to me makes complete sense. And I mean, Netherlands is perhaps the best proof of that. How they go about their business is really good to see. But other than that, I think you would always want to have more teams. It's just that you can't have this format with more teams. And what Tony is saying is the choice you really have to make. And I would I would go as far as saying that I would want it the other way. I would want more teams to be able to play 3 games rather than one team playing 9 games.
Exactly.
But that's just an individual sort of viewpoint. I think the base expanding and more teams getting World Cup experience is going to be better for the game. And I would also say that the teams that have to qualify need not be restricted to so few. So for example, right now only Sri Lanka and Netherlands I think came through the qualifiers, and Bangladesh is up to no good at all in this tournament so far. And so I mean, get them also to qualify, and maybe West Indies could have sneaked in, or someone else could have sneaked in. So if you're going to keep it a small
how
tournament,
did New Zealand qualified?
If you're going to make it a small tournament, maybe have more teams qualify.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, the nature of the associate victories that we've seen this week, whether it was England, Afghanistan, or even Netherlands, South Africa, it did not have that kind of freaky, fluky kind of feel that we had when, say, West Indies lost to Kenya. in 96. I mean, these were like very strong performances and they looked very assured. I mean, they were really good games of cricket to watch.
There were no chokes, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what a choke is, but yeah, I mean, Netherlands bowled really well to South Africa that day.
It's that thing on your bike, Ra. Sometimes if petrol is less, you use it. I mean, if you go for a machine drawing Viva, you can probably ask also.
Wow. What
Effect
a
of choke on
beautiful
carburetor.
callback.
I know.
What a callback.
Okay, so just to round up the games that happened last week, before we bring in just by expert Bisi into the picture.
Yes.
Where Afghanistan playing England, which Afghanistan of course won. Then Sri Lanka playing Australia, which Australia won. Netherlands playing South Africa, which Netherlands won. New Zealand playing Afghanistan, which New Zealand won. And I think that was probably the best exhibition of how to pace an ODI innings when you get into trouble initially, right? Which India hasn't done yet, that they haven't batted first.
Which game is this?
New Zealand versus Afghanistan, where New Zealand lost some 3 quick wickets initially, and then they had to build and put on a target, right? Bangladesh versus India, Australia versus Pakistan, Netherlands versus Sri Lanka, South Africa versus England, and of course, New Zealand versus India. So, before we get into that, quick question. I think a couple of weeks back, some of the discussion was around, toss is going to be all important. Has that come about as a factor? Secondly, I don't think too many teams have been able to set up a score.
Josh Butler would argue opposite.
Tell.
No, man. I mean, what's the point? The guy actually won the toss. I mean, I'm still trying. You're saying toss is
I
an
missed this.
important
We were at the
factor.
stadium. Tell Ra. I fully missed.
Yeah.
What happened? What did he say in the press conference?
No. I'm saying you said that the toss is a crucial factor. I mean, here you have the guy actually winning the toss and pissing the advantage away, which was insane. But yeah. Sorry.
Because
you're
they
saying.
don't want to be defending champions, attacking. No, but is the toss a factor at all, given the variety of grounds that we've seen, but also inability of too many teams to set a total or like set it up properly? Is there an issue?
No, I mean, none of the conditions have really made it a big factor, except you could say the Wankhede match where the heat was a factor, which is something both teams would have known in the lead up. They would have practiced there at least for a couple of days and would have known how hot it's going to get in October in Bombay. But other than that, I think Dew also hasn't played too big of a role. Maybe you could say that in one of the India games, I think it was India versus Australia, where Dew sort of affected the Australians negatively. But other than that, I mean, it's more the inability of teams to be able to figure out what's a good total, which has come in the way, not the conditions, I would say, which is typically how in the subcontinent toss becomes an important factor. But I mean, if that can change for a couple of venues where the pitch is spicier in the second half of the match when the lights take full effect, I don't know. That could be a possibility.
No, I don't think toss has played much of a role. People have basically messed up wherever, either in terms of winning the toss and taking the wrong call, or just not executing once they decide to do whatever they decide to do, the bat or ball. I don't think toss as such has fully loaded the dice in favor of one team.
Yeah. Speaking of messing up, let's go right away to Pakistan's World Cup campaign, Bisi. What is happening?
Where do we start? So this is Chinnaswamy's first game at the World Cup. Everybody knows 330 is apparently some par score, batting first.
Oh, I thought 330 is when you need to leave if you want to get home in time. Not that joke. Okay, 330 is par score.
330 is par score. They start with Shaheen Afridi going for one ridiculous review, man. Like it makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense. Why would you review that? And from there, it brought back flashbacks of Zahir Khan at the 2003 World Cup and his first over to Hayden and whatever happened from there on. But having said that, I think they tried to make the right change. Shadab's been woeful with the ball, so they brought in Osama Mir, who I think dropped Warner on 10. If I remember correctly. And
explain to me, is Shadab playing worse than Nawaz? Like, why?
Same question.
Why is Nawaz in the team? Like, what does he have? What videos does he have? Like, what is happening?
I think we discussed the squads before the start of the World Cup, and everybody had the same question regarding Nawaz. I have no answer to that. I don't know why.
Maybe.
I don't know why Nawaz isn't.
Is it some font related issue?
Some Hal factor, Hal based.
He might turn up on some day and start bowling so many dusras nobody will pick. I have no idea, honestly. So,
hey, but anyway. Before this, didn't Pakistan players catch some random fever this week? In addition to the
major.
I don't know.
Major
not cricket fever, like actual fever. No, and they had quarantine and all. Oh, okay. Anyway, they made the right changes, saying Osama Mir coming in for
Osama Mir, and then Osama Mir starts by dropping, and from there then starts getting clobbered. And this is the kind of ground that you want Mitchmas to play in, right? Because he will muscle it over 50 meters very easily. His edges will fly 50 meters. Chinnaswamy ground and all, 30-yard circle ends, and then another 2 yards boundary. So he sorted. And from there, it's downhill pretty much. Again, having said that, I think Babar Azam pretty much gives up trying to contain. It is just Shaheen Afridi who sort of turns up in a second spell to try and contain. Haris Rauf, I don't know which commentator was watching this game who kept saying he keeps coming back, but he also keeps getting clobbered again and again. That is what
keeps going back. No, keeps going back to keep coming back.
He keeps coming back. He continues to bowl at 145, 146. He continues to get trammed. throughout the game. I think Sain Afridi was the only one who,
Haris
left that
Rauf
game
also inspired Mark Wood to do the exact same thing next day
Yeah.
versus South Africa.
exactly.
Hold same pace, go faster, come at
Yeah, yeah.
145.
I
go
think
at,
everyone who's tried to
200.
bowl like flat out pace, like Haris Rauf has been consistently getting thrashed.
This is why Shami was bowling at 125 today. Idea bowling.
Ada.
But
Having said this, but
one
I
second,
think they
one
were in
second.
the chase.
Can we just take a moment to talk about Kuldeep's 114 kilometer per hour
Oh,
delivery
seam up.
today? What is
Beauty.
that,
Yes,
bro?
so
Where
good.
did that come from?
Beauty. No, I think he saw him head down to try and reverse sweep it. Was he reverse sweeping? I think he was reverse sweeping. Daryl Mitchell, right? He was trying to reverse sweep it. Take it. Left it. And everybody is stunned. Okay, like KL behind us, like, where did that come?
Thank God it
Yeah.
hit him.
Correct. Otherwise, 5 runs.
Sorry,
So it was
Dabba.
accurate. It was an accurate seam up.
Yeah.
Right at the
Back to
stump.
Pakistan and Shaheen Afridi trying to contain, which he
Sain
did.
Afridi,
5 wickets
yeah,
he picked
he
up.
came away with a modicum of self-respect from that game. But throughout the chase also, I thought they were there and with a chance, man. It wasn't like it was over. I think.
Chabbe addi vaanga pora.
What did he do? I didn't see.
He laughed
And,
inappropriately at a word I shall not mention again because it will definitely get us into legal trouble.
Okay. So I thought they were in with a chance, but then Ifti Chacha decided to throw it away and not let it be his day. I think the pressure got to them at the end of it. They 330, 320. I would still think that with the start that Warner and Marsh gave them, they would be very happy to try and chase. But 367 proved to be a bit too much at the end of the day. And then
No, but they're-
obviously, aap hame
but
toxic
they're-
bulayenge, it's happened. So that was even better.
But their batting started off quite well, no? 100 plus partnership.
Yeah,
127 for the first wicket. Very sedate. I wouldn't say sedate also. It went at above 6 and over. So it was quite all
Yeah,
right.
above 6. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I think the middle order just fell away completely.
No,
and-
I think they had struggles against spin. I think it's fair to say that.
yeah.
I mean, they and actually that's been their undoing both with bat and ball. I mean, their spin bowling has been ineffective and their batting has also kind of struggled against spin. So, I mean, there's not much you can do if you lose wickets in a heap.
And you don't expect them to start picking spin all of a sudden. Like Iftikhar
That's true.
it's very obvious he doesn't pick the wrong.
That's true.
Super obvious.
That's
And
true.
it's been obvious for a very long time, so much so that he doesn't work on it, and everyone like Zampa comes and he suddenly starts behaving like he's the best bowler.
But
And he was getting clobbered till then.
I mean, basically, Pakistan's major problem is that Babar Azam hasn't turned up. No, he's still somewhere in Pakistan only. Some spirit of him has come only. Spiritual leader he's become.
No, I actually thought he batted well against India as long as he was there. It was a good solid knock. So it was not like he was scratching or struggling, but yeah, I mean, he did struggle against Zampa in this game for sure.
And more
Yeah.
importantly, I don't think Babar is ever going to be the aggressor in any sort of chase. I
Correct.
really he wants to play 20 overs and then he'll take it from there. But for those
Yeah,
20
no,
overs,
then
it's
again,
the
I
like
think
of-
their struggles in both games were not with acceleration, right? But just lasting the distance. Against India also, they were going well, setting up
Yeah.
for like
Yeah.
definitely 300 plus before collapsing. Same thing against Australia. I don't know.
I mean, those are the kinds of collapses that you had. You know, you saw Indian teams do against Pakistan in the 90s. You know, just like wickets falling in a heap. Suddenly, they're bowling unplayable deliveries. And,
Yeah. By the time
No,
the
I
squad
don't-
goes out, Afghanistan would have beaten Pakistan also.
yeah. They're looking good,
Wow.
man. They're looking good. That too, they're playing at Chepauk. I mean, given the way Pakistan plays spin and given the way Pakistan
This
bowls
is,
spin,
by the way, the fixture which caused delay in release of the entire World Cup tickets and fixtures. This is the one. That,
yeah, Pakistan didn't want to play Afghanistan at Chennai.
Yeah. They did
Oh,
not.
And-
they send delegation.
Spin.
Spin and also
Yeah.
they wanted Bangalore.
Yeah.
This is the
And
fixture.
also, I think the other thing that's there for or going against Pakistan is that the other batters around Babar have also not turned up at all. I mean, Babar, you could say 4 matches, looked good in one of them, didn't look so good in the others. But to be honest, there's no like what for Shreyas Iyer, you can say, okay, short ball, etc. Uh, I mean, that short mid wicket position, I don't know if you can even call that a weakness or just a way he has of getting out. But other than that, I think it's not too much of a weakness issue or something that the opposition is really sort of capitalizing on. It's just that the other batters have also not turned up, and Haris Rauf has been going for plenty, and the spinners are not, doing well, which means that Pakistan is all set for a roaring comeback now. I mean, since that's the template.
Cornered Tigers.
Yeah. Now something's going to happen.
So, also another sad thing which we've seen before also happen with Pakistan is after Osama Mir dropped that catch, I think he's been roasted by everybody in Pakistan, and he's actually tweeted an apology for dropping a catch, which is the craziest thing you can imagine.
No, that's a fake account. No, it's a fake account.
That's fake.
I think so.
No, man, I think it's genuine.
Maybe the emotions were fake.
Maybe the emotions are fake.
Sometimes it's crime, sometimes it's acting.
But I remember I was texting Hank sir when that was going on, and he made a point that it was very disappointing that it was a big moment in the game. It was David Warner batting, and it appeared to be a fairly simple catch, and he grasped it, and nobody went up to him. Nobody went up to him, put an arm around his shoulder, or gave him a pat on the back. And he would not have been human if that was not playing on his mind through the game. So
I just wanted to say
take
that
a good catch towards the. Sorry, sir.
When Hank sir says big moment, he's typically watching Bedix highlights. Big moment.
Rear view, hindsight.
No, in his defense, I think he rounded up the evening by taking a good catch. I think it was a third man or fine. I don't remember which side. Yeah. He took a good diving catch eventually.
And almost to rub it in, Shadab came on as a substitute and caught everything. I mean,
yeah.
So, yeah.
Can we talk about the no-run twins who are getting no runs? What is happening with Smith and Labura, Prashant?
I don't know, man. I mean, there's been somebody in our group has been saying for the last. It's like Inception. They planted the idea in my head that Labuschagne is overrated.
Average.
Yeah, average. He's overrated. He's a stat pad or whatever. And ever since that idea has kind of been planted in my head, the poor guy's hardly scored a run. So, I mean, I don't know what's going on with him. And Smith, I don't know. I mean, I don't think he was ever a great one-day player, honestly. I mean, brilliant test player, but I wouldn't say that he is an all-time great one-day player.
In this game, anyways, Labu turned up when you had to go all out, right? So
yeah,
it's not his game in any case.
Yeah.
They tried hiding him behind.
Yeah. Everybody came ahead of
Pat
him.
Cummins also.
Yeah.
No, but all is not lost, man. Pakistan can still make it. This is like Choppy said, right? They can
no, this is like the reverse copy for India, no? So you have like a brilliant story to write when India crashes out. You have an equally brilliant story to write when Pakistan wins this World Cup.
I think our son's waiting to see why Dada is awake. And he's gone.
Yeah.
Nice. So, top. No, I think one other thing that we need to discuss is how amazing Rohit Sharma has been with opening every innings. He's got 17 sixes, I think, which is the maximum in the tournament. And it's just been teeing off right from ball one, no? Today also.
Yeah.
No, I think a lot of he deserves a lot of credit for changing the template as far as India batting is concerned. I don't know how much of success we are going to see with this in the T20 format, but for now, I mean, in the ODI format.
No, what T20? If India wins this World Cup, T20s are banned, boss.
Banned,
Only
dude.
ODIs.
No
Only
T20.
bilateral
Much,
ODIs.
Bilateral
Our
ODIs
league
in
is
Sri
back with
Lanka.
a vengeance.
Bilateral
IPL
ODIs with Sri Lanka before IPL, after IPL.
Big
Correct.
team
That is-
series.
I know, but I'm just saying that the way he has really taken the attack to the bowlers in every single match is so refreshing to see.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's being really unselfish. He can definitely play the
Waiting
you
game.
know, accumulator game
Mm.
as well as any other player, but he's just gone about his business in a very inspiring way, and full credit to him. And
Yeah.
I've also thought that his today was perhaps again a bit of an aberration because of the lack of resources, but otherwise his bowling changes, field placings, everything's been quite up to the mark. So yeah, I mean, really good strides for Rohit.
There was a
overall.
moment. Speaking of his captaincy, there was a moment when we were chit-chatting on our group today that we are like, bring Robo back because he had injured his finger
Yeah.
or something. And
Yeah.
there was a spell where we were getting thrashed left, right, and center. Like whoever KL brought on was getting hammered. So forget the batting. I think his captaincy also has been pretty much spot on. There's no, in his mind at least, there is no confusion about what he wants to do.
Yeah,
Whether-
even today, I mean, the temptation to bring back Bumrah or
Yeah,
even
yeah.
Shami much earlier when the spinners were proving completely ineffective. Jadeja was what 58 of 10, and
Kuldeep also.
Kuldeep was just getting hit for sixes left, right, and center. The temptation was to bring those two guys back, but somehow in his wisdom he thought that he would
Hold them back.
keep their overs for the death, and that proved to be such a good decision. So yeah, I mean, full credit to Rohit, and I mean, especially the batting part. Great point about his batting.
Yeah, I think the contrast is if you look at 2019, where he was ridiculously successful. I think he took a lot more time to get going. I mean, the number of balls he would take to get to 20 would be much more than what we're seeing this time, and it's not wild slogging at all. I mean, this timing and the touch has just been amazing to watch. I mean, it's been I don't know how much more we're going to see of him, but this is something worth remembering.
He's 36, right? Yeah.
And I think also the fact that we had two big, huge, massive bogeys before the World Cup started, which is Shaheen Shah Afridi and Trent Bolt, and both have been neutralized by Rohit in a very very straightforward manner. Like it seemed like there was no problem to begin with. Yeah, which is so good. I mean, I know Kohli has changed his technique a little bit and has changed his setup a little bit for this tournament, especially after getting out on the short ball a couple of times. But I would still say if Kohli was exposed to these two early in the spell, maybe it would have been a different story, and we would have again been at whatever 5 for 3 or 8 for 3, whatever. But Rohit has just been so good with these two as well.
And the good thing is that he's followed up on what he stated openly about, right? He's like, somebody needs to change their game. कोई और नहीं करेगा, तो मैं करता हूँ. It may not come up on and he's philosophical about it, which is what I really like. He's like, it may not work out on most days, which is okay, but as long as it is working, it sets up the team in a good space. So happy to continue doing it.
You know the problem with cricket talk, no? When you're winning, it all sounds good.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
exactly.
You end up looking like Joss Butler and spiritual leader Ben Stokes.
I know.
Yeah, but in general, the only other thing that has happened is me dissing Mitchell Santner has meant that he's at the top of the wicket list in bowling spectacularly. Followed.
How is he unplayable, man? I don't understand. Why is he unplayable? How is he so good? It's too good. Like,
I mean, the way he's varying pace and varying flight, and he's not even turning the ball that much. I mean, it's like it's like Vettori towards the last phase of his career, no, where he's using angle and he's using height. The crease. Yeah,
his height, he's got like major height thing.
Very similar kind of bowler to Vettori in the latter stages. It's been great to watch, and he's also fielding brilliantly. I mean,
Oh yeah, I mean the Surya run out today. I know. I mean the part about the miscommunication between the two batters was the major talking point. But that stop and somehow throwing it right in the middle of the pitch where Trent Bolt was standing, and you know that was
Yeah,
just
directing
phenomenal.
traffic like a
Yeah.
traffic cop in the middle of
And
Silk
yeah,
Board
and
Bangalore.
without even facing the pitch was quite
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, no
Extraordinary.
look run out. Also,
look run
Sandner's amazing catch. I think it was against Afghanistan. No, he just
Yeah.
yeah,
The Puma dive.
Oh, that's what
Who
we
else have
unbelievable.
you?
Yeah.
Who else have you jinxed that till now, Tony?
whole
Just-
of New Zealand team.
That's going well.
That's going.
That is going well.
Sandner,
Apart from that,
of course.
who are your semi-finalist predictions? Now, wait 1 second. Let us go.
No,
back.
mine was India, England, Australia, South Africa, of
Oh, okay.
which England are out pretty much.
okay, fine.
No, I
England, South
think-
Africa and Australia are in the shot. Yeah.
No, so I think when the semi-finalists are finally frozen, Tony is going to find that he owes Chops and me a beer.
and
Yeah.
Vama. Multiple beers.
Yeah, multiple beers.
No, which is my
I don't even remember the predictions from that day, but yeah, I mean
Vico
my-
has Excel sheet. Be careful. He'll open it. Wait for it.
my current rationalization is that New Zealand have only played the bottom teams and escaped banana
They're
peels.
stat padders, basically.
Stat padders. They're spending one extra week in the rarefied air of the top two in the
Dharamshala.
table and also the rarefied air of Dharamshala, awaiting Australia. 1 full week just chilling, hoping
To play
Kane
Australia on a
Williamson-
day game.
Kane
And they are
Williamson
playing a
likes
day
this
game.
but can't put his thumb up. Poor fellow.
They are playing a
Hopefully
day
he
game on
will-
the day, which day-night game is reserved for. Guess drum roll you should have for this.
Is this the Nagin derby?
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh, and
Bangladesh and Netherlands.
yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm really hoping Netherlands can pull off an upset there, man. That would
And
be.
that'll
I
be
mean,
like
it wouldn't even be an upset, but that would
But,
be so satisfying.
When is Nagin derby? Sri Lanka versus Bangladesh.
Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. I'm
Much
seeing.
later. Huh?
Sri Lanka, Bangladesh is in Bangalore. 6th November.
Okay. While away. So what is
In
the
that-
most exciting match this week? It has to be
England,
Sri Lanka,
Afghanistan.
Pakistan, South Africa.
England,
and-
Afghanistan.
In-
No,
Oh, you-
Afghanistan
you
is
mean the-
over. England lost.
oh,
also.
you're talking about, okay, the
Coming week.
Coming up, upcoming.
Yeah.
Acha, Pakistan,
Hey.
Afghanistan. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Tomorrow, Khyber Pass
Yeah, yeah.
Rugby is there. Big game.
Chalo.
So I wanted to ask you guys about something. We've been seeing examples. I don't know if this is something new, but there was that very disturbing video of a bunch of guys in Pune tearing up a Bangladesh mascot, a
Yeah.
stuffed tiger, and then there was that incident in Delhi where some people were some Indian fans were beating up some Afghanistan fans, I think, and then of
There was
course
the incident in Bangalore where Pakistan fan was asked not to cheer for Pakistan.
Not to
not
cheer
to
for
cheer.
Pakistan.
Yeah. So I don't know if it is social media that is amplifying exceptions and therefore making it seem like they are bigger than they are, or I don't know if this is like a worrying new trend, and I'd be curious to know your take on this.
So as someone who went to the stadium as recently as yesterday, I've always loved going to the Wankhede to watch international matches, right? Not IPL because it's just like too hot and like too crowded and like, I mean, not as much fun for me.
Yeah,
But,
some patriotism to Hank you need to show.
No, but in general, I expect on average for you to take at least 1 hour to get into the stadium, right? Yesterday, it was a full stadium, but it literally took us 3 minutes to get into the stadium, right? And in terms of arrangements made by ICC, there were quite a few things. In like you can throw a ball into Jadeja's hands or Quinton de Kock's hand, and some games and like some photo booths, and there was a place where you could make posters as a fan and all of that. Tariq told me that it was free in Bangalore. Here it was like $100 or something, whatever. Free water was there. There were counters and stuff like that. It was an extremely hot day, right?
Memorable free water. Huh?
Memorable free water. No, free water was there last time also, actually, irrespective of the World Cup. But the ICC arrangements were spectacular, really, really good in the sense that this has been my best experience at Wankhede by far, right? And it is an amazing stadium anyway to watch a match. And why I say this is because there were ushers all around. There was someone from the police standing there in Mufti, but with like Marine Lines police station written on his badge. There were instances where someone was sitting in the seat and basically, I guess some England fans or someone, asked the usher, and the usher came and just asked someone to move. And all of this happened, right? Like, it was spectacular. The atmosphere was brilliant. And then, we met some others for dinner who were in an entirely different stand. And they say they had a horrible experience practically because there was a mob of Indian fans basically making random political chants for no reason at all, and like going about like saying go to Pakistan to random people, etc., etc. So I mean, the two sides are that what we conflate, I think, should be sort of teased apart to say I don't see the organization as much as a problem. I think for Wankhede it was a better experience with it being the ICC World Cup than it otherwise was, and it was totally counter to my expectation of what it would be, right? At the same time, we had tickets mailed to us and all. Some others had to go to Brabant to collect tickets and all of that. So I mean, you'll hear varied takes on this. But I think what is most disappointing is probably not a cricketing angle, right? It is a social sort of thing, and not too much for us to comment. Is that over a period of time, India has turned into a place where you've sort of encouraged the worst elements and the worst elements, and it obviously comes out in a mob. Where you feel like the real way to show, I don't know, patriotism or support for your team is to actually harass other people, right? Which is a very sad reflection. I don't think it is a case of, honestly, ICC or BCCA causing it to happen. I think it is a social problem and not a very solvable one in that sense. Sorry for 5-mark answer, but that is what I've seen. But in general, the stand I sat in was brilliant. We had a smattering of South Africa fans, smattering of English fans. The rest were Indian fans, but nice, proper Wankhede crowd cheering everything. We like to believe we started some of the cheers, doing clockwise Mexican waves, that, this, and the other. So if you're considering going for a match, go for a neutral match, I would say. If you're in Mumbai, definitely go to Wankhede. But beware that it is going to be extremely hot. We were wondering if we would have the stamina to sit through an ODI, right? And we barely survived. Wear sunscreen, but it was a good experience. I much better
England
than
did not
the
know about
experience expected. Yeah.
No, I think I would largely agree with Tony. It's just that these thoughts were always there in our minds, and now is perhaps the most opportune time for all of those thoughts to come out, and obviously they end up looking very, very embarrassing, very silly, very stupid, and just like they leave you with a very bad taste. But I don't think it comes off as a surprise that these elements are getting enabled in a cricket stadium, because that's the situation in the rest of the country. And to fool ourselves into believing that we were better earlier and are worse off now would perhaps not be the right thing to do. I think and Tony's right in saying that it's not so much the organizers who have enabled this. There are just a couple of things that I would say there. One is the fact that you would expect the organizers to make some statement about this, and maybe even say that this is not encouraged or this is not okay, etc. Even if there are no legal proceedings that happen, even a statement will have some effect, or even if not any effect, it'll at least show people that you mean business when this sort of thing comes up. I mean, a parallel, for example, is what happened in Lords during the Ashes, and the MCC suspended 3 members, and then their memberships have been taken away recently. So you would expect something of that sort to happen, but the fact that there's been complete official silence and not even an acknowledgement of these issues has been a little difficult to digest in that sense, but it doesn't again come off as a surprise, to be honest. uh, I am very glad. I love Wankhede myself. I didn't go for this match because I just thought that the arrangements are going to be terrible. I'm glad to be proven wrong, and a lot of stadiums have had very good arrangements. And you could say that some of the basics are being met, and that itself seems like a great deal to us who have been deprived of such things in the past. But yeah, I mean, it's just the basest tendencies of ours coming out in the open, nothing more than that, to be honest.
Yeah, and honestly, I would never want to go to Ahmedabad to watch a match. Personal preference, but I don't think I would enjoy like being in that kind of a charged atmosphere, right? So the charge is definitely there. It depends on, I'm guessing, the general vibe of your city, or the mood of the nation, as it were.
Sombering note. Chinnaswamy at least sang happy birthday to Mitch Moss. Counteract that stupid police there. Anyways.
But amazingly enough, the moment of the week in cricket has not come from the Cricket World Cup, but from, I want to say, the BBL.
WBBL.
Oh,
WBBL.
WBBL.
Can you tell us about the graceful Grace Harris?
That woman is quite something. Big fan of how she manages to hit the long ball, and the best part of, I mean, that incident is not what actually happens on the ball for me, but what happens before that. She's heard shouting in the stump mic that she needs a replacement bat, and then something happens. I think they're in a rush to bowl the next ball, and she says that stuff it,
Stuff it. I'll hit this one.
I'll hit it with this one itself. And then she goes for a big shot, and the first thing you notice is the handle remaining in her hand, and the bat comes clean off. Like if you've broken bats as a kid, sometimes the V of the handle, the handle end, that gets stuck with you, and the rest of the bat goes flying off. Here the handle just comes off clean, and that goes to somewhere short mid on or something, and then you notice that the ball has actually gone for a massive six. It's not even a floaty sort of six, and I mean, she's just laughing and walking away with the handle was quite something to watch. I mean, I don't know how the mechanics and physics of it worked, and maybe in some Viva they'll ask about it. I won't be able to answer. But really amazing to watch. Today morning is when it happened, and she scored some 140 odd of some 60 balls, and obviously the team also won. So yeah, unbelievable.
Incredible.
Yeah.
On women's cricket also, I think the list of the women's IPL teams also has come out in terms of who they are retaining and not retaining. And guess who has let go of most of their players?
Delhi Capitals.
RCB.
Smriti.
Smriti.
She's been let go?
No.
No.
Smriti's team.
Smriti's team has let go of everybody. Almost.
To recall
PDP is recalling faces right now, and he's dying. Gone.
To recall the origin of RCB, Smriti at that point had said that Virat has been leading RCB for a long time. I hope to emulate him, and promptly went on to win almost nothing. So yeah.
And
so Chops, the women's IPL is the women's version of IPL, which is the tournament happens in India sometime in April, May. Gujarat Giants.
Oh, that is the Gujarat Giants. I'm so sorry. Now
Chappy doesn't know. Chappy was referring to your earlier Gujarat Titans team.
Oh.
Anywho, I was in parallel trying to actually find out the names of the 3 suspended MCC members. I read it at one point, and it seemed like really like made up names.
No,
like
those were fake names. Those were fake names that were put out. They haven't revealed the names.
Okay.
Yeah, those were fake names.
But those were fantastic fake names. Anyway, okay. Anything that you're looking forward to next week?
So, which has been your favorite game so far for this tournament? The game that you enjoyed the most?
We've all been.
I love Netherlands South Africa. Absolutely.
I
Because
would
it
say
was at a Dharamshala.
the most enjoyable game was probably, for me at least, India versus Australia. That Kohli Rahul partnership was so good to watch.
Yeah. No, I think purely by virtue of the stadium experience, I'll have to pick South Africa, England, although it was not a match, it was a mismatch, as they would say. But it was quite something to watch the match live. So the experience was really, really good. PDP, which one was yours?
My favorite was England, Afghanistan. I mean, it was brilliant to watch. And of course, England losing, always a bonus. So,
we should rename ourselves as the Bits and Pieces and Anyone But England podcast.
Hey, Tony, what question were you asking just before this? Which one was the match? Which is the match you're looking forward to? Or
Oh,
something?
what? I mean, yeah. Are you looking for anything? Say something. Say what you want to say. This is if I am doing Viva, I'll be like, why don't you make up your own question and give answer?
I was thinking of the answer and then PDP asked, so I lost my train of thought.
Oh no. How will we overcome this tragic loss, Dad?
Pakistan versus South Africa is what I'm looking for. Should be fun.
Oh, what are you looking for?
The resistible force versus the movable object. Both teams.
No, but what a difference it makes, man. I always like Imam Pandya said that Bavuma should not be playing for this team.
Yeah.
And the moment he's out, unwell, and suddenly everything just falls into place for this team. It's quite amazing. Sometimes serendipitously, you might not want a captain to be
tough scenes.
I'm just looking forward to one more win for both Afghanistan and Netherlands. I would
Bangladesh.
Just like make more chaos happen in that table, and things would be good, I guess.
Yeah, let more people learn about net run rate like Viku. What is this?
Yeah.
So many people.
Hey,
walking
so
around
1
not
second. New Zealand have had 2 captains, right?
Yes.
Latham and McCallum. Bangladesh have had 2 captains.
Sorry, Williamson.
Kane Williamson. Yeah.
So much basketball hatred. Like
Bangladesh have had Shakib and Shanto. South Africa have had Bavuma and Makram. Any other? Like, is this the first World Cup to have so many captains?
Cummins has been there throughout. Butler has been throughout. Who else?
Sri Lanka? Who's the captain? I have no idea.
Oh, Dasan Shanaka got injured, no?
Injured,
yeah.
So they also have had 2 captains.
Come on, also have 4 teams already. On the spot, we are making up facts.
England gone, India gone, Australia gone, Pakistan gone, Netherlands gone. So that leaves
Afghanistan. Rest is left as an exercise to the reader.
Or the listener or the viewer, in whichever mode of
but
viewing
interestingly, many captains. Chalo. All right. On that note, we started this podcast yesterday. It is already next week. Chalo, this has been episode 94, I think, of Bits and Pieces. Thank you for tuning in.
If it is incorrect through the editor's note.
Yeah, which is me. of the me shall correct the me. Yeah. On that note, this is Tony, Bisi, Prashant, and Chops signing off on episode 94 of Bits and Pieces. Catch you again. Bye.
Stay up. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.